Hey, welcome to Infinity and Tactical Awareness on GMG. If you're wondering why am I seeing old content published here on this new YouTube channel, it's because the algorithm no longer responds to subscriber counts and view counts for pushing things up in the metrics. So for the last 10 years, I've been able to trick people into watching Infinity content who normally came for 40k reviews, 40k battle reports, Horus Heresy content, or other mainstream games. And now the algorithm basically just buries this content. So I have to make a dedicated channel for Infinity, which hopefully will hit the monetized amount in the future, and will host all of the Tactical Awareness podcast and Infinity content that you've previously seen on GMG. I'll also put a playlist up of the hundreds and hundreds of Infinity videos going back into the dawn of time and end to that also exists in this channel because it was one of the first videos ever published here on GMG. So sit back, relax for the next little while. You're going to see this preamble as these videos get reposted, and enjoy the Infinity content. Hello and welcome, listeners, to another episode of Tactical Awareness. It's Season 3, Episode 21. We're doing Heroes to Zeroes White Banner. So this series is about us making lists for all of the Infinity N5 armies to do a faction breakdown, talk a little bit about how and why we took the models that we took, and then we go through at the end, basically, and we round up any models that got overlooked. So let's dive in, see how the boys are doing, and get this underway. We did it. We did it. We got to the thirds of this. Dan and I were just talking, Owen, while you were logging back in, about how all of the White Banner profiles, I think, are really good.
Yeah,
right?
That's probably a true statement. I wouldn't know, but I believe you.
This is what we're doing today. It's Heroes to Zeroes White Banner. And this is episode 3. This is the last of the sectorials for Yu Jing.
Now with video.
Which was now a video, which, well, for all of those people watching us on YouTube. For those of us, for those peasants only watching on the free broadcast apps, then there's no video, except for Owen, because the government might find him and where he's living. So the third episode here is basically the profiles we haven't covered in Yu Jing in the White Banner. They're the newest sectorial too. Have you played these guys, Dan?
A little bit. It was N5 came out right when I was going to switch to these guys. And then there was too many good things and all the new N5 stuff, and I was distracted. So I was half playing them and half playing everything else. And I've yet to bring them to an event.
They're actually the last faction. Well, it's funny because they came out in Operation Kaldstrom, which was the starter set for Infinity Code 1. And so they had like this like winter theme because they came out alongside the Svartalfheim WinterFor. And so that's why they have like Octavia, because she came out around the same time. And all the Xanchis in like their fur coats are from this generation of heroes. So they're the last Yu Jing I ever played. Of course, Owen never played them because they're Yu Jing and, therefore inferior to.
Well, me being a special snowflake was, let's start with ISS, because everyone hates them and says they're garbage. So I'm going to win with them anyways. And I did pretty good with them. I liked them. And I played Invincible Army and did okay with them as well. I actually preferred ISS. And then I was going to try White Banner. And then ISS came with a bunch of new stuff. And I was like, well, I got to go back and try ISS.
Back to ISS.
It's like 15 new profiles.
Did you play ISS this weekend?
Yeah.
You just put to that event?
And actually, I really liked my list. Like, and they used a lot of new profiles. And I felt like they were super solid. Yeah. And I just played bad versus Owen. But otherwise...
two other good games.
Yeah.
Also, you played some weird old scenarios in that event too, didn't you?
Just the one old scenario. But it was all weird scenarios together in like why are these in a tournament? Let's have some fun.
It's a funsies tournament. Yeah, it makes sense. And ISS is great. So if you haven't watched this episode before, this series before, we all make army lists for the chosen faction, and then we break down why we chose what we chose. We go through any of the unit profiles that we didn't cover when we were doing our like initial sort of like run through all of the army lists, and then we do a little wrap up at the end. Anything we think we missed. I guess I played this army last. That's kind of the rule we've been using, is who played this last to go first. So I'll go first on this one. And I'll throw this in the Discord chat so that people can see what I'm talking about. And if you are watching this in the future, the army code for all of this should be in the video description for this on YouTube, or the description on the whatever streaming app you're looking at, probably Spotify, maybe something else. And here's the army code as well. So some of my favorite profiles in this list, man, oh man, are things that don't exist anywhere else. And I'm going to start that off with the Tiangu. This is like, I love this profile. It's all in the 20-ish range, goes from 20 to 27 points. And every one of them is a banger that does a different thing. I took 2 of the FTOs with boarding shotguns, boarding pistols, grenades, jammers, and hollow mask. And a hollow mask jammer is a beautiful thing. I mean, a hollow mask boarding shotgun by itself is a beautiful thing, but it's just a surprise jammer out of nowhere at whip 14, because these guys have different, like very good whip. Is extremely exciting. So yeah, what did any of you guys take this guy, the Tiangu?
So I've taken him in Starmada.
Oh no way! I forgot he's in Starmada.
Yeah, not anywhere else. My ass.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. Sorry, I mean the Hunter and the Yin Shay, they're not anywhere else. And this Beast Hunter is unique to Yu Jing in general. But I also took the Tiangu Killer Hacker. He's got Mine Layer Mad Traps. And surprise attack with his killer hacking device and a holo projector, and he can funnily enough hollow mask as a holo projector, which I think is really interesting. And that allows him to creep around, and of course the mad trap is a wonderful sticky gun. And because he's a whip 14 killer hacker, that's also fantastic with surprise attack, which means if he can get through a repeater or through the Chaye, the flash pod that I've got here at the bottom, then you can also put that nice -6 to try and kill somebody. I got 2 of the Hundun X Visor heavy rocket launcher ambush units. I love this guy so much. He's like a dirt cheap. What is he from Shad's Vasti? He's like a dirt cheap Noctifier. He's 22 points, camo, hidden deployment, mid -3, stealth, surprise attack -3, heavy rocket launcher with an X visor, so no bad bands. I absolutely love this guy. Did either of you guys take him?
Nope. He's just I
didn't, but I mean, I've made many lists with White Banner I have played a couple dozen games with him, but yeah. Off most of my lists, more so in vanilla, I find I'm bringing him. But yeah,
is he in vanilla? Oh, he's in. Of course, he's in vanilla. His marksman rifle or his multi-marksman rifle is the most expensive, least SWC, but most points because he feels like
he's so diverse and he can do so much. I like him. You just come out of hidden deployment, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's the hidden deploy surprise attack with that multi-marksman rifle. He can literally threaten everything in the game. He's really, really good.
Well, he's medium infantry, but armor 3, which is only 1 wound, but
he's glass cannon. That's why I like the cheap one. 22 points, and of course, burn baby burn means you can literally kill anything in the game that isn't immune arm. Then I got 2 Yin Shay FTOs. Again, this guy's a threat and a half. K1 marksman rifle. EM carbine, AP mines, Albedo -6, courage and stealth. Taking with our if you got Albedo, you take Albedo. Man, Albedo -6 K1 or EM carbine is such a nightmare against some things, especially heavy infantry, the what's it called, the big guy from Combined Army. I just played against him on the weekend. The lieutenant guy who's NSC3. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name?
Anathematic?
Krontid?
No, the Krontid.
Oh.
Yeah. Krontids or Asuras or any of these big heavy hitting pieces, because that K1 just makes a mockery of their armor. And an EN carbine is no joke either. Then I've got a Tiger Soldier Spitfire. He's an old faithful. Super jump jet propulsion, min -3, combat jump, and parachutist with a Spitfire. Coming in corner shooting, BS-13, arm 2. Just a great scalpel piece for coming in the sides and flanking people. And then a paramedic for pushing buttons, bringing people back to life. And then in group 1 on purpose for the full order pool is that great Yu Jing Beast Hunter. Heavy flamethrower, Panzerfaust, AP mine, surprise attack -3, camo, 4 deploy +8. And an explosive close combat weapon +1 burst, PS5. I love this guy so much. He's such a crazy 17-point piece. And if you just suicide him towards something that is way up value than him and go fight with that close combat weapon, you're guaranteed to get your points back. as long as you're bullying and you're not fighting another martial arts piece. Then in group 2, I got Jinko with his glow up. This dude's got Bang Bomb +4 in this edition. Berserk Climbing Plus, which is, of course, back to being good again. Dodge +2 inches. Fire Team Master Shaolin, so you can hang out with cheapo monks. Immune Shock, Martial Arts 3, Mim -3, no movement cap, Religious Troop, and Specialist Ops Stealth. And then he just hangs out with 2 Shaolins, 2 little 5-point chain rifle Shaolins. Give him that burst bonus and let him get there with the smoke grenades. Got a Zhanchi Lieutenant and a Flashbot, and that's my 300 points and 4.5 SWC. I could tweak this a little bit. I was thinking about trying to just to get that 1 extra point to get the baggage bot, so I could reload my jammers and reload my mad traps. But it's not the end of the world that I can't. I could probably just drop a Shaolin. You don't really need 2 of them. Drop a Shaolin for a War Core, and then get the points to take the Chao Ye up to being a, what's the name of the one for the Yu Jing? The Pangalang? Is that the one? Yeah, the Pangalang.
The baggage bot,
instead. Yeah. Get a baggage bot. Yeah. But that would be the only swap I would do in this one. But man, I love this list for the profiles all being in like the 20 to 30 point range. You get so much backup plan and so much redundancy in your piece selection.
Yeah, I think the only Jinko is and the only thing that's unique to White Banner in your list. Everything else overlaps.
Can go in with, at least it can go into
vanilla.
Vanilla, right?
Yeah. I guess not the Tiangaos, they go with Armada, but everyone kind of shares a little bit. But leaning into Tiangaos is pretty fun.
I do like the Tiangaos a lot. Jammers and Yu Jing at Whip 14 is really cool. And I love
Jammers in Starmada when you can like link them and like line them up pretending to be like someone else, and they're like
special dice jammers. Like, yeah, special dice jammers. Yeah, I mean you can do this one too. The 2 of them can be a fire team.
Yeah,
because they can be. Oh no, never mind. They're wild cards. Oh, they can hang out with the. I guess I could move the Shaolin or the Zhanchi up, and I can make a fire team with the 2 Tiangaos.
Yeah.
Just have them be 3 Zhanchis and run up and then do like
no, you got to if they have jammers, you got to pretend to be something that's heavy infantry because they run up.
I guess I could in this list too because the Tiger Soldiers are off table, so it would definitely work. I pretend to be like Shang-Chi's or something like that and hang out with the Shaolin or like
Zhanchi.
Yeah,
because if someone tries to hack you and you're like it fails, and they're like, "What do you mean?" You're like, "It just fails."
Just fails.
And they're like, then they realize it's not who they are. Like, oh, okay. And then they like move up and you're like, I jammer. And you're like, what
the? Just being a dick.
Yeah. I often am terrible at this game and it never works. But the few times it has worked, it's been great.
It's very funny. It's funny that they don't treat Hollow Mask like the other Hollow stuffs where it fails if they have to make a save. Like let the hacking attack go through until they have to make a save. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's just kind of one of those. If you're not eligible to be like Spotlight will work, like you're allowed to be Spotlight. But if they tried to carbon at you, or
sure, but you're just saying
not eligible for hacking.
You're saying they're Hollow Mask. You know what I mean by saying that? You're not. It's like heavy infantry. I know, but you're not eligible. It's like it's one of those weird situations where 2 things can be not true in Infinity, whereas most of the time they would let it go through, like the Hollow Projector thing, where you are a model until you make a save. And you do all the things the models do until you make a save. Like
I guess if you reveal that they're not that, then they're not the killer hacker, and they all have jammers. So I guess they know it's a jammer if they know anything about Tiangos.
Yeah.
So it won't work repeatedly on your friends, but you can get them real good once.
But you can definitely gotcha them one time.
Yeah, I guess we'll go into mine.
Sure.
I also brought Jinko, or however we pronounce it, because super solid heavy infantry for 32 points. And it's going to be a duo with 1 Shaolin.
Yep.
And then we're going to bring Liang Kai.
Oh, I almost did.
Huh?
He was almost my other Tiangao. Because he's the same points as the Tiangao almost.
Well, just this way you can kind of spread them out. Because I played a bunch of games where it was either Liang Kai or Jinkao with 2 Shaolins. But they were just kind of like all of them that were kind of clumped in the area, and they're like, how do they go up and throw smoke? And then this way I can have them on either side to kind of they can shoot up either side that's weaker or throw smoke where needed to kind of have more kind of versatility that way, which is nice.
My version of that was the Beast Hunter, because the Beast Hunter can kind of do what the two of them do together, because he's
also awesome. I got a High-Tay with the BS attack guided heavy rocket launcher +1 burst.
What a unique piece. I love that guy.
He's fantastic. I found out he had Warhorse, which is great for heavy infantry.
Yep.
And he's only whip 12, but he's BTS 6.
And tack aware, 2 orders.
Yeah.
2 orders for 36 points is no joke.
Yeah, and you can link them to have firewall -6. So good luck carbonating them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, and then that's like, what else do you do, right? I guess you can spotlight them. So he's pretty impervious to enemy hacking for the most part, and then just a super solid BS14 with tack aware.
And BS14 is pretty rare in Yu Jing, so if you see one, it's worth taking.
Very true.
That's tag BS, right? For like even the Shang-Chi's are only a 13.
Yep. So who's he paired with? He's paired with the Jujak Engineer, Sora Quan, which is another one. So Jinkao.
Can we talk about the Jujaks for a second? Because they're kind of the invincibles of this list.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like 25 to 31 points. They kind of have either the combi rifle, breaker combi rifle, missile launcher, Spitfire, or Vulcan shotgun. They all have heavy flamethrowers, or I guess light flamethrower on the missile launcher profile. But they're just solid 6'2 movement, arm 3, BTS 3, BS 13, Fizz 12. They got the dodge +1 inch Yu Jing thing. They got courage, and they're just a solid heavy infantry piece.
Yeah, and breaker combi rifles are no joke. Because like they can house tags with those things, like unless it's a unique, like it's BTS 9 or something like that piece, the breaker combi rifle is almost always better than an AP. You know what I mean? Because it's having less at the very outgo.
Yeah, someone who's bringing immunity arm is like, haha, and they're like breaker combi, and they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and it's total anathema to the entire Ariadne faction. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're PTS 0, the faction, except for the dogs. Fuck.
No, they got a little bit of BTS. Not really though.
Like the Ratniks do, and the newer heavier pieces do, but like for the most part, they're just wearing pants.
Yeah. So Sora Kwan is the character Jujak. BS attack +1 damage, mine layer with EM mines, and then either multi-marksman rifle or combi rifle +1 burst.
And those also have the options of a tin bot.
And then I bring her for the multi-marksman and a tin bot. You get the little mine layer, which is nice. There's enough camo in. I guess she's mine layer, so you can kind of just tell. So you're not really hiding anything with it, but just nice to have an EM mine around. But then that gives the firewall -6, and also the Jujak and the Soroquan share keyword, so that gives a duo bonus.
Yep.
And then I brought the Yin Shi also with the K1 marksman. And then to round it out, I got the Dokubi Cyber Team. I think this is one of the highlights of this faction.
This is funny. The Dokubi Cyber Team are one of the the reinforcement units too.
Yeah,
wildly good model.
I know.
It's super cool looking too.
The best thing in this faction, yeah.
Oh, you're saying best?
Arm 3 BTS 6, no wounding cap hackers. They are like heavy remote presence. Yeah, they are like structure murder hackers, which is crazy.
Yeah. So again, in a link with firewall -6, and then pitcher, and it's got the duo bonus, so you're throwing them downtown pretty easily. And Killer Hacker upgrade Spotlight.
Yeah. And the regular ones upgrade Carbonite PS6. The other Killer Hacker is upgrade Spark. It has a fucking Mark 12 and marksmanship for some ass reason.
Dude, I hate that profile so much because I love it, but without the picture, you're like,
I know. But that's right, and you only get one. That is the only downside. Yeah. All of these fucking reinforcements, The AVAs are 1. If you could take 2 of these guys,
I'd have to spend another $70 on a box.
I know, but if you could take 2 of these guys, man, they would just duo around. You take the Mark 12 and the Killer Hacker with the Spotlight, and the 2 of them would just wander around causing so much trouble.
Well, they're kind of like the add-on, but you're only allowed 1 in the fire team anyways.
Yep.
But no, super solid, and in the games I play with them, super great. What's nice is with the firewall -6, you can just throw pitchers and kill their hackers. There's just not much they can do about it.
No, it's real hard to react unless you got the Zero Pain.
Even then, I don't think Zero Pain does have the attack tag. So if someone's hacking you through the pitcher with firewall, is Zero Pain affected by the firewall?
It is affected by the firewall, but you're also affected by the net negative from Zero Pain, and also he gets the burst bonus. It's really the burst bonus that.
Well, 2 bursts at -6 versus my 2 bursts at -3.
Yeah,
I cheated against that one in the tournament, by the way.
I was like 90% sure, but I was too out of it to buy.
I was losing anyway.
I was like,
care.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure you don't get it, and then I went, you know what? It's fine.
You know what's cool about Zero Pain?
Anyways, we'll let him cheat.
You can use Zero Pain against jammers.
Yeah, it nullifies all comms attacks.
Yeah,
use it against flashballs.
Yep.
Is flashballs a comms attack?
Yep.
Are you sure? Flashballs are BS whip.
Oh, there you go.
It's just non-lethal.
It's just non-lethal. Owen's making it. Just claims.
Oh, I have a question.
Jammer
related but different. Can you use a deactivator against your own disco ball?
You have to
turn it on or turn it off.
To turn it off.
Both, yeah.
No.
Why?
Because you don't turn it off, you get rid of it.
Oh, you get rid of enemy ones.
Disco ball, it gets rid of it.
It's not an enemy.
Or it's just a disco ball, right? Once it's thrown, it's just is it yours? Is it friendly?
It's
still friendly because you deployed it.
The user of a deactivator by passing a normal whip roll may deactivate the enemy deployable weapon or deployable piece of equipment.
Yes, you can do your own.
No, because it's not enemy.
Well, you also can't do anything with the attack tag against friendly equipment.
There is a C also. Deactivators can also be used to activate disco balls. So is it just this? Is it just?
You can only turn them on.
You can only turn them on.
You want to get rid of it.
You have a proviso for turning them on. It's like a med kit. A med kit's an attack tag thing that you can do to
what's the scenario in which you would get rid of what you would want to?
I shoot a disco ball and my Fennec triangulated fire Thunderbolt guy stands up behind it, and then my Whip 19 deactivator turns the disco ball off so I can triangulate fire with my Burst 3.5 Thunderbolt on BS13.
Dodge instead.
Because it's worse odds. Costs me 1 more order instead of a dodge 10, it's a Whip 19.
Sure.
And then it's like that forever unless they shoot my disco ball, which is fine.
But it's more orders to do the other thing. It's 1 order to try a 50-50.
One for you, maybe. That's not how I roll dice.
No, sure. Just saying. I would feel like it's more efficient. That's all. Or just stand up and gunfight the first time and hope to survive.
So back to my list: Haite, Jujak, Sorokwan, Yinchi, and Dokubi. It's kind of everybody's kind of in there, but really it's just the Dokubi's in there to throw the pitchers, and then he doesn't care about being in it anymore. And then the Haite's in it, so you can be attack guided with special dice.
He's sweet.
Which is pretty sweet. And after the Dokubi throws out all those spotlights in either active or reactive turn. Then I also have an Evo Hacker in there. Kind of for marksmanship. Because then in the second group, I have a Jujak Lieutenant. Because I was like, well, who's my lieutenant? Who gets the hide? Whatever. For 25 points, having a infantry lieutenant, kind of Jujak, and I have crazy hacking presence to deny their hacking. So hopefully that works out. And then a Horang. This guy's great for 20 points. He's got a Disco Baller, Panzerfaust, Deactivator, Armor 3, BTS 3, only BS 12, but Movement 6-2, CC 23, Albedo 3. So I got 2 sorts of Albedo in here. He's a cheap little heavy infantry that can do some stuff, but also just throw disco balls if the smoke isn't enough. So I have two Shaolins on the flanks throwing smoke, and a Horang running up the middle throwing disco balls.
Did you manage to put a Pangling in there as well to refill?
Yeah, that's the Evo Hacker.
I see him. There he is. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll be hanging in the middle, reloading pitchers and disco ballers. And then I have the Son Bay FTO.
The Salt Bay FTO with his missile launcher?
The missile bot.
And worth talking about because this missile bot is +1 burst.
So the difficult part is that I have a missile launcher. I could do missile launcher guided,
right? Which
is then it's like, well, what do I attack? Oh, because I already have BS attack guided with a high Tay, but it's not as long range, but it's kind of more. But it like being hit but with a heavy rocket launcher is way different from being hit with a missile launcher.
Yep.
Right. Missile launcher. So I may change that. The main thing is if there's someone has like a strong ARO piece that can take a big hit, then I have 2.5 dice with the missile launcher.
And you marksmanship it.
And so all of a sudden it's like if anyone's poking out that can take a hit, that's annoying. Like the high Tay kind of needs to fight them. But if it's like some sniper way in the back or something like that, then they can do something. And then I just have a flashball spot. So 14 orders. The Shaolins are turned regular because of the Fireteam Master, Liang Kai and Jing Kao, and solid list. I think White Banner is one of those. Before in N4, there were like the quote-unquote only playable faction because of the vast diversity of ways you could build lists with them compared to the other factions. Now ISS is up there with you can build it a lot of different ways, which is really, really fun. Invincible Army is still kind of has that diversity, but not, limited in its choices. But White Banner still stays very, very diverse.
It's interesting. They also have access to a lot of Albedo. Like they can take 6 Albedo models, not profiles, but like they could take an AVA of 6 Albedo models, which is really high. And all of their Albedos are like really good gunfighters, either really cheap and efficient or like just like a really decent Albedo gunfighter for what they do.
They got a little bit of everything. I don't know what you got.
Hacking, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I brought a deal.
Literally the name of the list. Because somebody had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is great.
I mean, it's basically all the things from Dan's list. Other than I've got a deal. I've got the Shang-Chi to give me the Tinbot. I've got the Hate. I've got the Dokubi. So that's my 4-man core team. I've got 2 ammo bots. I have 2 long Yaz just to pre-base defense. I have a Shaolin. In group 2, I've got a Guilang mine layer. I went back and forth on whether or not he's mine layer deployable repeater or just an FO. Probably an FO is the way to go.
Because this guy, it might be one of the best skirmishers. He does so much. Like he's really he's true, but like he has like a really complete profile for what you want him to do.
I don't even know if he's top 5. Best skirmisher.
I don't know, man. This guy's cheap. He's cheap for what he does.
Well, let's talk about
the mine layer. The mine layer with deployable repeater. Like that's a great turn 1 hacking net already out for 25 points. He can push buttons. He's camo.
How many points is a bandit?
Bandits are
24.
Bandits are regular.
So he is an infinitely better turn 1 starting mine layer for that points.
I don't know, man.
And he's a fighter.
Does he have MSV?
If you want to do MSV, let's talk about Kestrel's fucking what are they called? Scarecrows. And
they're infinitely more points. They're
27 points.
They're more points.
They're 26 points. Yeah, they're the same or cheaper. Yeah, their mine layer guy with his mines is 27 points. He's MIM 6. No, he's BS 13 though. And he's MIM 6.
Camouflage? Hidden deploy?
Yeah. Infiltrate, stealth, surprise attack, boarding shotgun, nanopulsar, decharges, AP mines, whip 13.
It's not 14.
His BS is 13.
Most important stat on a skirmisher is whip.
All right, so then the Shujay or the Nadir, who are also forward and infiltrators that are whip 14.
SMGs.
And their Flammenspeers and their double EM mines. Like the Shujay is 27
solid, points. But it's like right on the cusp of being great, you know. But
he's really solid.
Like it's just not quite there. It's just like it just lacks a tiny bit.
He's perfectly fine. I think he's a fine skirmisher. I wish he was MIM 6 or hidden deploy.
And that's the salsa.
Or BS 12. Or you know what I mean? Just a little bit here or there, I think would perfect. But just as he is, I think solid. Like fine. Like, you know, but just not like amazing.
Right.
Maybe for this faction amazing, but you know.
Well, he's only got one competitor, which is the Salsa Warrior, who's a melee fighter.
Yes. Well, I brought him anyway. I still think he's okay. I just don't. Yeah. That was a bold claim to be like, I think he might be the best skirmisher. And I'm like,
I didn't say. I think he's up there amongst the best skirmishers in the game. I didn't say he might be the best skirmisher in the game.
Dan, is that what happened? Roll the clock back. Somebody rewind.
He did. He said he's among the best.
Okay.
Thank you. Owen just goes off the rails about anything I say.
No,
did you say it's good? No, it's garbage.
Are you trying to make a claim that a Yu Jing model? Are you trying to make a claim that a Yu Jing model is the best at something? Because I fucking
you just
doubt
immediately got fucking triggered. Jesus.
I brought a Harris of Octavia with Zangshis just for
hilarious.
The 6 cents heavy rocket contender.
I do like her heavy rocket, and I do like her contender.
Yep. And then Liang Kai with a Shaolin, just to feed orders or to go do stuff, whatever I feel like. I mean, group 2 is literally there just to do nothing and exist and maybe throw smoke to protect my advance as I shoot pitchers and fire rockets or just spotlight and then shoot with BS attack.
Can we talk about Octavia for a second? Because we just kind of skipped past her. Because I think the contender gets overlooked a lot, but that's a burst 3.5 BS 12 contender with 6 cents. That's a nightmare of a gun because it's type 2.
Yeah.
It's got real good range. I just think people don't really understand the they look at her main gun and go like, oh, this is what you're taking her for. And it's like, actually, she could just one-shot heavy infantry with this thing. And she's got an outrageous burst for it.
My idea was essentially that the first group is either going to missile you or spotlight you or both. Or not missile, but like rocket. But even if you're just spotlit and then Octavia comes from the side, that kind of solves her problem where she's just shooting on 15s on that 3.5.
Yep.
And then combat instinct, dogged, she just stands there and she drags around two little specialists.
If she kills something, she's happy, man.
Yeah. And then I've got the left right where I've got my main group on the left, and then these guys are on the right, and then I have a bunch of stuff to just throw into the middle of the board with the Longya mine layers, the Flammenspeers that they have, the Panzerfaust that they have. It's all being reloaded. Shaolins are throwing smokes.
I think we should talk a little bit to Longya.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys didn't bring this guy, because he's
great. Love him. No, he's great. He just didn't fit what I was trying to do.
Yeah, AVA 2, you can bring vanilla and white banner. They're camo, but they're size 3. So it's and they have no minutes.
They're basically the standard remote size.
Yeah, but they're camo. So there's only one size 3 camo in the game. And that is different. So if you see a size 3 camo on the board,
a size 3 no min camo. It's literally just a tarp. It's a motorcycle under a tarp. It's all it is.
And then it just starts roll to shoot me.
Well, and this is why you take baggage in this army too, because he has a gajillion disposable guns and they're all +1 burst.
Yeah, I think that's new to this edition. Maybe not. But it's there's only BS 11, but you can marksmanship.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can just offload 2 Panzerfausts, 2 Flammenspeers, reload.
He's just there to ARO for me. He's just another. I'm a 360 visor until I declare otherwise, and I will protect myself from the the many deployment zone threats that exist now.
Exactly.
And let's talk too about the fact that what Owen's referring to is that when you are a camo marker, you don't have line of fire until you reveal yourself. So you effectively have 360 until you pop out a camo.
And then anyone who wants to fight him knows what it is. Like, there's no secret that it's going to be a Panzerfaust or a Flammenspier.
Mm-hmm.
And no one wants to get shot by those. You have an impact template if you want to hit a link team, or you have a just powerful single tap. And like, yeah, you're probably going to lose that face-to-face, but they had to discover you, and you might not.
It's worth talking about the forward deployment +4 too, because it actually allows you to be 16 inches up with your back to a wall to your opponent, looking back into your own deployment zone. And that means you can tend to find a position to look at like a lot of the board edge behind you into your side. And that's going to cover a lot if you can get up to outside your deployment zone and be back to the wall. So not only are you kind of protecting this piece from getting scalped out at the beginning, you can usually advantage that to have a nice wide field of fire back into where you're actually coming from.
And they also have AP mine layer.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd bother. I like the basic one so much, the 16.1.
You have one more point.
Mm-hmm.
You get mine.
Yeah, but it's half an SWC too.
I got plenty.
That's fair.
You also have plenty.
I have 1.5, yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't take Chief Jong. Let's go through our zeros, the ones we didn't take. Let's talk about this guy. He's a Darfo. He exists in vanilla and this faction. He's just an engineer Darfo. So
he does not exist in vanilla. He's only Invincible Army. And
I'm misreading that thing. That's Invincible Army, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, he's got a +1 burst. Yeah, like he's a good gunfighter. Weirdly, BS-12 with a K1 combi rifle if you want to take him that way. That's his cheaper version. Or you can take him with a turret, which no one does anymore.
I played some turrets on the weekend, and they were pretty okay. Yeah.
He's got a reroll engineer too, a -3. So he rerolls his engineer test on 11, which is kind of cool. But like, he doesn't have any forward deployment skills or really ways to get him there. He's linkable with, I think he's a wild card, isn't he?
No, he's in the Zanshi link with the tag Zanshi.
That's right, counts as Zanshi. Yeah, so he counts as Zanshi.
It's like in N4 when you're building the big super Zanshi lists, or the big whatever, fantastic. In this one, it kind of he's just a bit too expensive for what he does. I think he's solid, but he just competes too much with other options.
And he's not survivable enough to be like a primary gunfighter.
No, he kind of like wakes up late game and does some gunfighting, but also can be a great engineer.
Dashes an objective with his engineer skill.
Right. So if you're bringing like a Blue Wolf or a Guija, and then he
loves Yao Zaos, right? That engineer reroll works for the Yao Zaos. So
right.
Send it to the guys.
So there's some argument to be like, if you're bringing a tag, to bring him around to go pick up your tag when it falls over. It's pretty solid.
And he's in Invincible Army, where he probably does a better job.
more targets, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can un-isolate a bunch of guys. Guden troops. Nobody think these. They're all Warhorse, though, which is a weird thing to have on a bunch of light infantry. They're basically super Zanshis.
I like the camo. The camo for deployment is the...
Yeah, there's two variations. It's light shotgun, heavy flamethrower, light or SMG zapper for 11. And then there's a camo for deploy +4 version as well. They're almost like Delamis, but they don't have a good range disposable gun.
No.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have the range.
That's what I mean, right? So like, I think the reason we didn't take these is if they had a Panzerfaust or a Flammenspier or even like a Blitzen, there'd be a reason to take them, right? Like they'd have something they could forward deploy and pop out and use once, but they don't have a really good ARO gun. So without that,
they're just a grunt from Ariadne now.
Yeah,
they're for what I've used them more in either vanilla and or Invincible Army, but they're just kind of like, they're the cheap line troop that's regular, that's like 11 to 13 points, and you can put them camo so they don't get picked off easily during the first turn when they're like picking off your troopers. And if someone gets close enough, a zapper or a heavy flamethrower can ruin anybody's day. So I think they're solid, but because you have Shaolins in a way to make them regular, it's kind of like Shaolins are more useful
and half as many points, right? Because it gets you there. They're a delivery piece.
Yeah. So that's, I think, why the green end isn't taking much.
Yeah.
Or
Mech Engineer, again, standard engineer piece. We've talked about him before. Again, just not a lot of them because not a lot of machines in here to fix. Same with the Tag Pilot, unless you're taking the Blue Wolf. Workhorse is a Workhorse. Zanshi's are Zanshi. Zanshi XN is just a Dr. Zanshi. We didn't talk about the Sulyong. This is your NCO piece. It's a light or medium infantry 3/3 with NCO MSV1 train total. You get a couple specialist pieces. The light shotgun +1 burst Thunderbolt for 22 points is kind of cool. The FL1. But like again, they're just kind of a lot of points, and they don't have a role that really sticks out. Like there's a paramedic with an emitter. What a weird equipment loadout.
I think the emitter one's probably either emitter or the multi-marksman I like the most.
Yeah, I like the emitter because he's a paramedic. Pardon?
I guess they can join the like Shang-Chi Zhuzhak soup.
If you need an emitter, because he's a
they're the reinforcement box as well.
No, he's just one of the guys in there.
The Sulyong.
You can bring two of them in the White Banner Fire team.
In the White Banner Fire team, he's not in the
but they're just a bit too expensive. There's other options.
He goes with heavies is the thing, right? He doesn't go with the little guys.
Yeah. I mean, Armor 3, BTS 3 is nice for medium infantry always. You got a couple of those.
And let's use your lieutenant order.
I think a duo of a Yin-Chi and this guy with double emitters.
Yeah, that's cool.
Would be kind of neat, just because you could do specialist emitter albedo guy and NCO MSV emitter guy, and then it's like, do you have a heavy thing? Because I have both of the tools to go fight it.
Yeah. And let's talk about that guy, the Yin-Chi, the Silver Snakes. This is your albedo -6 BS13 like gunfighter piece.
Didn't you bring this guy? You brought this.
Oh, I did bring this guy. That's right. I brought the.
You went on about the K1 marksman.
I brought the K1s.
Yeah, K1 marksman, super solid. He does a couple specialists. Forward deployment mine layer is kind of fun. We've got the emitter there, but the sniper is really weird. So the K1 sniper, it's still just PS7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a sniper rifle that's not PS5, which is unfortunate. So
yeah, but no armor.
No, you're right. So you're good at killing the big things, but you're bad at killing the little things. If that makes sense, right? If someone's
you're not as improved, basically.
Right. If a tag in cover is saving on 10s, a shitter in cover is saving on 10s, right? Maybe saving on like 8s, with a regular sniper. So and it's only one. There's no DA, right? But it's got one of the weirdest interactions in the game with the negative feedback, because they have albedo -6, but sapper puts you in the foxhole state, which gives you
you lose your albedo. Yeah,
you lose your albedo. Yeah. So it's kind of neat where you have a K1 sniper where on deployment you choose, do they have MSV pieces? Do I want albedo? Or do they not have MSV and I want mimetism?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think they meant to do that.
I agree.
I doubt it, but it's just what happens because they're both NFB.
But it's a kind of a neat thing of like, hey, that's kind of neat. And with the emitter as well and the K1 sniper, you have two long range weapons there.
Yeah, you flex into both things
for snipers.
Yeah. And BS13, which is decent for this army. The Ye Mao. Did somebody take one of these?
No, I think they're amazing. They are in a lot of my other lists.
They have so many profiles and they do everything. Right. They either gunfight every kind of gun, multi-rifle AP Spitfire or missile launcher. And it's multi-rifle Panzerfaust, which means you can't really be outranged either, for 23 points. Mimetism, super jump, terrain total, MSV1, bang bomb +4.
They are the only regular troop that's unique to this faction. You have two characters and these guys that are completely unique to White Banner.
And you can make a fire team out of the 23-point guy. For 100 points, you get 5 of those guys. Just flying across the board.
They can duo. Unlimited
Can they duo? Oh, then you can have an unlimited number of duo. You can have 2 duos and an asshole hanging out with somebody.
Like BS13, MSV1, Mimetism, AP Spitfire with Super Jump. That can do work. And then you just drag along the Killer Hacker. So he's got the multi-rifle for only 25 points. And then it can go into Smiley Face and, get through tough defenses and go push buttons and or whatever.
They're a good guy to hang out with that Su Young paramedic, actually.
Amusingly,
Super Jump? No.
But he just runs all behind him.
Yeah. If you link the Yimao with the Shang-Chi, you can long skill jump, and the Shang-Chi will move 9, and the Yimao will also move 8. Mm-hmm. And they're faster than just walking around.
Yeah. If you just moving.
Wait, does Shang-Chi move faster if they jump long skill?
Yeah, because they're
as long as it's a straight line.
Well, so long as it's whatever a parabolic arc is.
They kind of explained in the last update.
Kind of. But basically, yeah, if you're just moving forward, you can just long skill jump with a group of those guys. And then the Shang-Chi goes 9 and the Yimao goes 8. And so you don't lose any ground and you gain ground with the Shang-Chis.
Yeah, get an inch.
But with Super Jump, it says that you can short skill jump with Super Jump and everyone else long skill jumps, and then you get your second move as well.
Sure.
I think. Which means that the Yimao can jump and shoot, and the Shang-Chi
and go 10. So it'd be 10 and 9. Yeah.
Anyways, that's a cool interaction. I never even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Yimao would go 6 because the jump would only be
with 6 and then 2.
Yeah.
Or 4, 6, 4. Yeah,
4,
10.
6, 4. We got Captain. We've got Bishi, but everybody knows about Bishi. None of us took her, but you also have Shang-Chi's nobody took. Captain Chen Gao, the Invincible's officer.
Yeah, we talked about him in Invincible Army.
Yeah, this is the.
He's kind of just he can't really be hacked. I mean, he can, but it's BTS Sec 6, ECM Hacker -3. You can immunity, immobilize, No, you can't hack him.
No, because he's immune to isolate, he's immune to immobilize. That's right. You can
only spotlight him. Otherwise, he's completely immune to hacking. Yeah. Which is funny because, why do we have these things in hacker? I guess for spotlights. Yeah. But he's one of those beast attack -3s with the heaviest.
I think in the story, Dan, the thing is supposed to be that he just literally shuts the power to his armor off, and he's so huge and strong that he can just walk in it. That's the idea. Is that so? When everyone else is using this powered armor to make them super strong, keep them alive, he just flips the power switch on it and turns it off, and he just runs around in it because he's supposed to be this huge, giant, muscly guy.
There you go.
It's 12.
It's what?
It's 12.
It's 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you turned your armor off, you'd be Fizz 12 too. He's carrying all that armor, man.
He's strong but not agile. Okay?
That's right. If he turns his armor on, he's Fizz 17.
But yeah, he's solid but very expensive.
Yeah, for what he does.
Very expensive. You're paying for the privilege to not be hacked as a heavy.
He is one of your lieutenant options, though. We didn't really talk about lieutenant options. I took a cheap ass Zhanshi lieutenant. And the option, he's one of the options in here, along with the Zhanshi. The Dao Fei can do it, Adel can do it, which is what Owen took, I think.
Yep.
Jujak can do it, the Shang-Chi can do it, the Guijia can do it, and the Gulang Skirmisher weirdly can do it too. So you don't actually have a ton of choices that are inexpensive, because the Dao Fei's 50, Adel's 50, the Judak one is 25, the Shang-Chi one is 45. So it's basically 25 points or 10 points, or you're looking at 50 points. And then you start getting the Guijia range where it's a 77-point lieutenant.
Right. Yeah.
And the Guilang one is, but it costs you to be sweet. So you're paying us swig for it. So you don't really you have one cheap lieutenant option in this, and that is it.
Guilang lieutenant's kind of funny because you
I was going to say
halfway up the board and get that extra order. But he's not a specialist, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the
Blue Wolf.
Dao Fei.
I guess we should talk about the Dao Fei because we didn't take him either, did we?
Yeah.
He's the
Dao Fei.
He's the much scarier Guilang lieutenant. I think this guy, the Shang-Chi, are your 2 lieutenant choices. There's others, sure. And
or unless you take an
or a deal, yeah. This guy's great. He's
The
great.
reason I like Jujak as a lieutenant choice is because no one's going to think that the Jujak's a lieutenant. It's kind of a little more hidden. That you have to parse through a little bit. But also, he's not a schlub, and in a late game, you can go up and fight with him.
Yeah, the only profile I don't
without
like
breaking the bank
is the lieutenant hacker one. I don't like lieutenant hackers. I don't want to be hackable as a lieutenant. That's a terrible idea.
You got camo. It's fine.
Yeah, you just marker state. And you turn into camo.
Your camo infiltration as a lieutenant, that can be a specialist, as always a specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. Well, he just do so much for you. He just kind of, I'll just do whatever I want to do.
I hate these whip 13.
Yeah, what you can do.
Well, that's good for him because all of your lieutenants are with 13 except for Key Gang.
It's true, yeah.
I guess the Guilang is 14, but all of your, like, the main group of them are all 13. So, like, Zhuzhak, Shang-Chi, Adil, Dao Fei, they're all 13s across there.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even the Guija's 13.
And then look what they did to my boy, the Hack Tao. They took away all of his profiles except for the hacker.
He didn't exist here before, isn't it? I think he's new.
He did. No, he did. He did. I painted one for my army. I have one painted up in the white banner colors.
Just
he's got an upgrade Trinity, which he didn't have before. He used to just have a hacking device, so now he can actually Trinity people, which is cool. And he's a fucking murderous piece, but he's 60 points. Camo, dodge +1, hidden deploy, shock immune, mim 6, stealth, surprise attack -3, got a multi-rifle at PS6, nanopulsar, Trinity, all the possible bells and whistles, BS 14, Fizz 14, Whip 14, Arm 5, BTS 6, 2 wounds. You only get one, but he does hit like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, but he's only got multi-rifle. It's so short range.
Yeah, I know.
And he's 6'2" at least, but
he's a bully piece, right? He goes and kills little guys and murders other hackers.
Yeah. I don't like him. And it's just too expensive for what. I really haven't tried him out though, so.
He's a hero piece, but he's an old school hero piece, kind of like the Swiss Guard and the Aquila Guard, where like they're good, but they do one thing. You know what I mean? They don't flex the way some modern units do. That's probably why he feels a bit restricted.
Well, I think it's without that NCO HMG that you get in vanilla, he's got so much less going for him.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like, oh, he can hack. And it's like literally every model we've talked about has hacking. Like all of them do. And all of them,
a profile,
the big thing that they get.
Profile. Yeah.
But the big thing they get is almost all of them can join a link that has a Tinbot -6.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't.
A mod stack. Yeah.
And so now it's like the
Dokkaebi doing it through pictures, or you're sending somebody else to go.
Is essentially the same hacker for 1/3 the cost, but he's going to be BTS 12.
Yeah, it's hard to make the argument for sure.
Yeah, with that HMG and the NCO, he's a very different animal, though.
Yeah, bring him back. That guy's a legit murder piece.
Agreed.
He's a Yu Jing Swiss Guard, basically. Hwarang Core. This is your Albedo -3 with combat instinct, courage, dodge +2, frenzy, immune shock.
And Dan
critical. Yeah, martial arts. Oh, you did bring this guy, didn't you? Which one did you bring? The BS Tech -3
I brought the Disco Baller.
The light shotgun one. I think the -3 BS Tech one.
The combi rifle one has some legs.
Yeah, BS Tech -3 with Albedo.
Short things, but like you can bully some things for sure.
If I was using it as a hunting piece. Oh, that's the thing is if I use him as a hunting piece, he's -9 shooting a visor.
Oh, yeah, they're also immunity critical, which is very nice.
And hilariously, all have explosive close combat weapons for some reason.
With CC-22 and martial arts level 3.
Yeah, like, they're no jokes. Yeah, combat instinct. Mm-hmm. They will go break those boxes. Only AV-2, but they're 6'2".
I like them. They're cheap. I like them.
And you can move, dodge when they speed them up. Right, because you can move, dodge with their Fizz 13. Somebody took Zhuzhak, somebody took Adil, Li Gong. We talked about in a previous episode.
But Li Gong's weird in this because he's a wild card, but he has the Shang-Chi tag. So also super jump with the Shang-Chi, so that works as well.
Can he always be a parachutist?
No.
Is he a parachute? Oh, is this a unique one to hit?
I think it is. I think the parachutist one's unique with the APHMG or submachine gun, emitter, zapper. It's the chain of command profile or the FTO profile, but parachutist for 32 points. That's a cool ass profile.
No, Invincible Army gets parachutist.
Do they get him? Got it.
Yeah.
Still a cool
I really
profile.
like that parachutist. No wounding cap, immunity arm parachute.
Parachute means that APSMG can get into range, right? With how speedy he is.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing about these other. It's like what he has like AP submachine gun. It's like you just look at the multi-marksman, you're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
But I guess he has emitters on the other ones, which are nice.
He's movement 8 with that super jump, right?
Yeah.
Or sorry, 9 because he jumps 3.
Yep,
so
that's true.
He walks in on the side of the board, jumps 9, and has a visor and albedo with immunity arm, and it will take you 2 shots to put him down.
He's got no wounding cap,
and so he can just walk around the corner and zap or something that is really important, or emitter it, and they can't kill him outright. Yeah, viral does, but viral's not common.
He's a response piece. He's for 32 points. He's a really powerful response piece.
With viral's nerf in this edition, I just see viral a lot less.
Sure, well, but also think about how he can just come up alongside a tag that can't see him, scoot behind it or to its side, emitter it, then AP SMG it to pieces. Right? Like there's a bunch of things he'll cause problems to.
Yeah, I still like the multi-marksman rifle, but no,
I think he's great too. I love being able to get an angle and not have my opponent know he's in my pocket. That's all.
I guess with the multi-marksman, you're kind of like, you're like, do you have MSV? Are you looking at the board? I'm going to come kill you.
I look at him like a less tough version of your Netrunner, where he can significantly change the game just by arriving in the right place.
Who? Netrunner?
The Netroid Runner.
Oh, Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I don't know if he's the same as Jamie.
He's not, but he's 20 points cheaper. But he's not. I said a significantly less durable version of Jamie. But he's got a real specific job, right? Like he's going to go and zap something so it can't move, and then just shoot it to pieces.
She's just going to shoot it and it's going to die.
Yeah, but it could turn around. You can't kill it. She won't kill a tag in one go.
Her acrolat cannon certainly helps.
Yeah, okay, but sure. I'm just saying this guy's
Plasma can definitely kill a tag in one go.
Maybe.
Make 6 armor saves.
You get him out of cover, maybe.
He'd be on 15s. He'd be out of cover. 15s and 13s for the average tag to save those things.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
In one go, good luck. Yeah. We did Shang-Chi's. Owen took a Shang-Chi, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Same as
Blue Wolf. We didn't talk about the Blue Wolf. We didn't take the Blue Wolf, though.
I like the Blue Wolf.
I like the Blue Wolf, too.
He's beautiful. Beast attack +1 burst with AP Spitfire.
Yep. SR -1 BS attack is a tag, tack aware, dodge +1 inch, CC 23. He's got a DA PS5 close combat weapon, Panzerfaust.
Too bad Berserk changed.
Yeah, it's too bad Berserk changed because he's so fast. Sad.
But with the tag pilot, you're dodging on 16s.
They sure are.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. He is very dodgy. He is relatively expensive for a 6/6 tag, though, 70 points.
Yeah, I think it's good, though.
I think you have to write the list. My thing is, that's what I was going to say, is I think you have to write a list around him, is all I'm saying.
I did, but not in this faction.
Yeah. And not in this faction. And then the Guejo, who we didn't take, this is the classic tag. He's just all meat and potatoes with martial arts too. He does have super jump now, though, which is new. So he can jump 8 inches and shoot his... I don't think he had a last edition. In N4, do you have it? Oh, yeah. Neat. Okay, cool. I love that he has a super jump then. That's great.
One of the first models I painted for Yu Jing, never put him on the table.
I've played him since N3, and I loved him. I gave mine away, but I loved him. He's such a great model. Remote stack, we talked about. Guilang's Kunai Solutions Ninja, we talked about before. Salsa Warrior, we didn't talk about. This guy's another weird.
We kind of did, because you were comparing him to the Guilang.
Yeah, we didn't actually go over what he was. He's the min -6 skirmisher. But he's berserk. He's a melee.
Only one use camo though, which is.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that one use camo is getting him to berserk and suicide himself into somebody, right? You just get him there with it, and then he's in melee DA close combat weaponing guys at martial arts 3 with an 8-inch move.
It's too bad he doesn't have a template weapon.
Yeah, it's weird he doesn't have a template weapon. He has mines instead for some reason. I think he does not need mines.
He fights with honor.
I guess.
The long list of
and here's another thing though, is the killer hacking device can go back into a marker state, right? Which is nice. Although weirdly, the marker state would then lose its mimetism, which is less nice.
Yeah.
But he's just, again, he's a relatively awkwardly pointed model for what he does. You only get one of them, so you can't like pincer or flank with 2 of them. You know what I mean? You get one, and for 17 points, that beast hunter will do the exact same goddamn job. Except of a better close count weapon, a template, and a pocket panzerfaust.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's got the deployable repeater mine layer, which is kind of neat if you're going for the more hacker kind of centralized thing. Yep. Right, so relaying.
Turns your
points.
And for whatever reason, you wanted to pay 4 points more.
Well, then you have
for 29 points, you could have a deployable mine layer repeater.
Because they're not hidden deployment.
No, they're just the same guy. It's just 4 points more for higher melee.
And so you just see the 6 guy, and you know exactly who he is.
Yeah. How about for 17 points, you just get the fucking beast hunter?
So this is what the salsa does. The salsa sits, and you stand him up. He's Mim 6, and everybody thinks he's the Hacktow.
No, they don't, because the Hacktow was hidden.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't. Maybe you're bad like me. They don't know how to play. And then they're like, oh my gosh,
Dan.
Well, the Hacktow doesn't have 4 deployments, so you got to put him way back. Okay. He just doesn't fit very well. You're right. The salsa, really cool models.
Yeah, for sure. But he's not a reinforcer, right? You get one of them, and they're just awkwardly sort of placed inside.
And I love anything with dodge bonuses, like dodge +3, dodge +2 inches. It's just fun. You're like, hey, I'm dodging on 15s, and I get to move 4 inches. Like it just doesn't quite do anything that you want.
Agreed.
Which is sad.
We didn't take the fake one Imperial Tactical Wing, but we took it last episode, so we don't really need to talk about it. It's the flyer, which we actually kind of universally agreed we liked. 28 points for that Ian Carbon is no joke. He's got a job if you're fighting a lot of tags.
I'm waiting till I have a model in hand to play him out and test it.
For sure.
I'm eagerly awaiting it.
Yeah. So how do we feel about these guys? I love that you have so many very useful profiles. Like none of our lists, except for Owen's double Panglangs, had a lot of filler models. Like you're not buying cheap orders to like zhuzh up a few really good gunfighters. We had good gunfighters, but we also had lots of medium useful pieces. You know what I mean? They can kind of sit on their own. I love a list like that. I love a list where like
everyone brought Shaolin chimps.
Well, yeah,
sure.
Like
everyone
brought at least 2 or 3.
But they were there. Monkeys. They were there just to get Jinko or the other 29-point guy. What's his name?
21 point.
The
guy there, right? I don't think we were taking them for cheap orders. We were taking them for the smoke grenades they're carrying and the
taking them for both.
Sure, yeah, like yes, but also they serve a purpose beyond just standing around generating an order like a flat butt might do or a net rod.
I think every list starts with 2 Shaolins and at least Lian Kai or Jin Kao or both.
But there's no melee in this game, Dan.
Well, but it's not even for melee. They're just, they're
just great.
Chain rifles.
They're just great chain rifles. And cheap.
Chain rifles, grenade, 6 points? Hells yeah. And they also, we didn't talk about it, but they have Impetuous.
If they're ever to the fire team, they sure do. They can run around.
Even if they're in the fire team, they still have Impetuous.
Yeah, so, Impetuous?
You just break out of it.
Yeah, you can't use an Impetuous when we're in a fire team, that's all.
Yeah, well, what I mean is if someone like Owen decides to lay down like 5 crazy koalas around your guys, and you're like, what happened?
Send one of them to have a brief
Impetuous the monk.
Yeah. my brief and dynamic life will be for the state empire.
He runs 8 and goes, take me.
Can I ask a loaded question? A question of great great import, which would be, where would you rank these guys in the Yu Jing pantheon of the 4 factions? We all know that Owen likes the Invincible Army the best.
I mean, this is clearly stronger than the Invincible Army. I mean, like you're talking about how they have all these choices. They don't really. Like this is like we have all these guys that in theory are pretty good, but then there's like 4 that you just bring every game. And those 4 are expensive enough that you get them plus a random thing. You will bring a Shang-Chi.
Okay,
I believe it's
expensive.
The Heitei is the second one. The Dokkaebi is the third one.
Okay.
And then you get to make a choice between, do you like the Dao Fei or do you like the Guilang? And you're going to bring one of those 2 as well. Then you're going to bring Shaolins, and then you're going to bring someone who can hook with a Shaolin. And there's your first like 200 points made out of those guys. You're probably going to bring a missile bot. If you're not bringing a missile bot, you do have the Heitei. So there you go. You've got that. But like half to 2/3 of your army is made up out of just this like basic starting. These guys are all just the best at what they do. And this faction has access to all of them. So it's like, yeah, kind of, but like the Haktao is not going to make the cut unless you really wanted to make a Haktao work. Like none of us brought Vixie because she doesn't really make the cut in this list, which is funny in my mind. She's not bad, but
it's great.
Yeah. And then it's like, which type of like support piece do you like? Are you like, I like the Hundun, or I like a Tiger Soldier, or I like the Long Ya, or like what's your version of defense? But like I'm confident 90% of lists that you see will have Heiteis, Dokkaebis, Shang-Chi's, a named character, which is probably a deal. And then
so that's 136 points. If you take the Dao Fei, the Dokkaebi, Lian Kan, a Shaolin, and a Heitei, it's 136 points. And they are standout pieces for sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of strong pieces.
Sure. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying that like half of your army, I think, is auto clicking these guys. Like you're going to play against this faction,
and you're all of them at once. You got to decide which strong guys to take.
Yeah, that's
I think it's pretty diverse. I mean, not for your style, but for people who like to lose. Okay. I think the
thing is Owen can't even make that claim because he'd have to play Yu Jing to prove that he's right, and he'll never will. So Owen defaults to being wrong. He's outvoted just by virtue of the fact that he's never going to play the army. So he can't prove himself right. It's all theoretical. There's no practical. We can listen to his opinion on other things. It's just theory. He's just as full of shit as he always is.
People won't bring a Heitei, Shang-Chi, or Dokkaebi in white.
No one said that. No one said that. What you said was that there was no choice and you had to.
No, I said that like you will. This is the choice. You will bring those 4 guys. Like at least the 3, and then your flavor.
So the Guilang Lieutenant, the Heitei, the Shaolin, Lian Kan, and the Dokkaebi is only 100 points.
Okay. And
there's
you've
200
got
points
the Shang-Chi, Heitei, Dokkaebi, Lian Kai, and the other
200 guys? Points for 200 points for 10 more models is lots to play with.
So what we didn't talk about is that the Blue Wolf can duo with the Shang-Chi.
Dokkaebi, Lian Kai, Shaolin, Heitei, and the Guilang Lieutenant. That's 100 points.
And the Shang-Chi Tinbot. You need the Shang-Chi Tinbot because he makes your hacker immune to dying.
But there's other Tinbot firewall -6s.
Yeah, and they don't all have tackaware. And number 2, and a gun, and like
sure they do. They're called Sora Quan, and they're not nearly as many points. For 33 points, I can have that.
Yeah, but you lose the tackaware.
She still doesn't have tackaware. She still doesn't have number 2.
It's 14.
You get +1 BS, which is cool.
Wee! A 4-burst combi rifle.
Yeah.
I think the funniest application of the Shang-Chi is putting the Tinbot on it and putting it with.
So wait, now you have to take the Shang-Chi APHMG.
No, you just bring the multi-rifle, just the 37-point guy.
37.1, yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes with the Dokkaebi and the Heitei, and there's your first 3. That's 95 points, and then all of us.
Do they even get the duo bonus for that?
They do not.
Yeah, you got to add something else. It's tricky to get the duo bonus when you're bringing all the fun stuff.
Right. Which is where you go, okay, so pick your flavor of what the other thing is that you want to add. Do you want to add Sarah? Because you could, or Sora. That would get you your second Shang-Chi, and now you have like a gunfighter and you get all your BS burst. Or did you want to bring a Bixie? Or did you want to bring Lei Gong? Or
Hwarang is good, 20 points. Hwarang, you get the Jujak tag.
Yeah, so you like
you pick which one. What we're saying is that there's diversity, there's decisions to make.
Right. I'm just saying that there's a bottom that these are like, you should just bring these guys because in and of themselves, this 3 or 4 man band is capable of fighting anything at any range band and gives you access to killer hackers, spotlight, guided missile, tin bot, very fast and also specialists and also multi-wound and a tin bot. And you don't get that in other factions. So you're just going to bring it in this faction because why would you not? Like, you just play a different faction if you want to do that. But like, I'm just saying that like half your army is decided before you go into.
So ITS even 17. Owen has to play White Banner. That's what I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing right now.
I really like the White Banner fire teams. That you can start them with either Shang-Chi, Jujaks, Yimaos, or Yinshis. And just have that flexibility. You can just have fun in there. But you're like, hey, look, there's a Zhanchi fire team. Moving on. We have some White Banner fire teams.
It is interesting, though, that they purposefully split it into Jujak or Shang-Chi and make you make a choice which one you're going into, right?
It's not one of those factions where the Shang-Chi guy. Yeah. But there is some decision.
The keyword, right? Yeah. And then some of your like really cool pieces like the Yinshi and the High Tide don't get a tag at all, so you got to figure out what you're going to do. And they don't like. I guess you could take 2 Yinshis and get the bonus.
To answer your question, where do they sit? I don't know. I just haven't played them enough.
They're still probably the strongest.
It's just they were the strongest before. They still might be.
Imperial Service is definitely
not really how I play.
I don't think it's over White Banner right now. That's all I'm saying. That's that way my answer is. I think Imperial Service has climbed up. I still think Invincible Army is ahead of Imperial Service, and I still think White Banner is ahead of Invincible Army, just for being less of a one-trick pony.
Do you think Invincible Army is ahead of Imperial Service right now?
I don't think that. I think Imperial Service. Yeah. I think Imperial Service is probably the best, but there's a solid argument for White Banner.
White Banner is more classically the best.
Yeah, like my brain would be
those guys in Australia. They love White Banner.
Well, because it's White Banner is so like that list, that group that I'm talking about.
Our brothers down under.
That group I'm talking about is why White Banner is so good. Is because it's like you have this brain dead. I walk out, I cover with smoke, I shoot pitcher, I missile your lieutenant. Like it's so easy to do for these guys. It's so reliable, and you don't have to do any work, and you're so resilient to like. If they happen to reveal a hacker or some other thing and you're crazy fast while you're doing it. So like, why does everyone like White Banner? Well, because in 3 orders, I can be anywhere on the back line and then my smoke made it that I got there and then I shoot a pitcher and I missile you. Like it's what they do. And it's not a bad thing. That's what they're good at. And they have a very efficient link to do it. So like, you're right. You can bring all these different guys, but like if you want to get really down to the bottom of it, then you're going to have a Dokkaebi every time. Every list will have a Dokkaebi in it. And I cannot imagine one where you would not have
fight you if you don't.
Well, just like, again, it turns into the like, why did you not bring this guy? Because he's just so effective at his job. For 22 points, he's a no wounding cab remote presence guy with BTS 6 who's a hacker. And he's upgrade spotlight. He's literally made to do missile shots, right? Like
designed for it.
Yeah, he is. That's what he does.
It's all that he does.
Yep.
It's what he does.
And he's BS12, so he's enough BS because it's so easy for him to get that link bonus. Because like you had said, you have a lot of these choices, so you can pick which version of this that you want to run. Like you could make it really cheap and bring like a Zhuzak firewall guy and a Hwarang, the 19.1, just to get the bonus so that he can shoot his pitchers better. And then he does that, and then you missile someone and they die, and you're like, there we go. That was a tool in my pocket, and now my Shang-Chi HMG will fight, or now my Yimao will fight, or whatever thing it is that you liked will be the now active piece, because you started with the I have this instant kill button if you don't know how to handle it. Like if you don't have a camo lieutenant, or if you've done an effective job of hiding where your lieutenant is going to be. That's all. That's what I'm trying to get at.
That's fair.
They're solid.
And I think they're good because of that, because it's so good. Like it's straightforward enough that, like, I think Imperial Service is probably as good as them, but you got to work way harder to get that kind of stuff going on.
It's a lot more work to get there, for sure. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, then it's time for the end of all things. We've solved all of Yu Jing's problems except for one. How does this stuff mix and match in vanilla? And we'll be back to do that next week, because that rounds off our heroes to zeros on the Imperial Service. So I guess we're gonna do the same format. What are we gonna do? We're gonna Rochambeau to see who goes first, and rock paper scissors it, because I haven't played this faction. I haven't played vanilla Yu Jing since like N2. It's been a long time. But yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.